Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech Talk with Jeremy. If you're into fitness, health tracking, or just love smartwatches, today's video is for you. Now, I recently made the switch from my Apple Watch to the Garmin Vivoactive 5, and let me tell you, it has been a game changer. Today, I'm going to be sharing the top reasons why I made the leap, focusing on the incredible battery life, advanced sleep tracking, and fitness features that blew me away. Stick around and let's dive in. All right, but before we get into it, let's unbox it first. All right, so we're going to go ahead and unbox this Garmin Vivoactive 5 Health and Fitness GPS watch. They went with kind of a minimalistic type print on the outside of the box. There isn't really a whole lot of information like product details at all. It does let us know that there is a charging or data cable in there, but as far as the different capabilities of the watch, it's not on the box. So we'll go and get into it. We'll open it up, see what's inside. All right, so right away there is that watch right there, which is awesome. And then we have the charging data cable. And then we do have the manual. And I think there's also there's an easy setup guide in here as well, which just helps you kind of get started quickly. And we will dive into the details. All right, so let's get into those details. So first up is battery life. This was the number one reason why I switched. My Apple Watch was great, but I was charging every day, twice a day, to track my sleeping metrics, right? Because I wanted to see how I was sleeping. Now, I'd have to charge it at least 30 minutes before bedtime. And then when I woke up, to ensure that it would last, some of the day, I had to charge it again in the morning. It got old real fast. Can I get an amen? The Garmin Vivoactive 5 though, well, it's just a whole different story. This thing lasts up to 11 days in smartwatch mode. Even if you have it always like the always on display setting, it can last up to 2 to 5 days just depending on your other settings. In my real world testing with daily workouts and notifications, I only need to charge it once a week, sometimes less. For example, last week I tracked daily walks and hikes and constant notifications, and it still had juice left after 8 days compared to my Apple Watch Series 6, which was only lasting about 10 hours of heavy use. The Apple Watch Series 10 boasts 18 hours of heavy use, up to 36 hours if you're lucky, and on low power mode. The Ultra 2s claim 36 hours of normal to heavy use and 72 hours if you're on low power mode. So the Vivoactive 5 is definitely in a league of its own when you compare it to the Apple Watch. No more worrying about a dead battery mid-hike or workout. And speaking of hikes, I wanted to show you the difference in tracking a hike on the Garmin Vivoactive 5 opposed to the Apple Watch. And we'll cut to that video now. Please forgive the wind. I wasn't wearing my Lark M2 for this hike, so please forgive the wind, but we're gonna cut to that now. So I wanted to kind of show you the activity tracking on something that we do all the time, which is hiking. So kind of show you the difference between the Apple Watch opposed to like the Garmin. The Garmin, I did use a third-party app because I like it a little bit better. Something really cool you can do about Garmin. And then on the iPhone, it'll just be kind of the hiking activity. So we'll go ahead and show you. So for the iWatch, it's going to be hiking. And then for the Garmin, we're going to go down to my hiker app. And we'll go ahead and start. So you can kind of see the differences there in the tracking. I mean, it's going to show me steps. It's going to show me the feet that I gain, the pace. It's going to give me a timer, the miles, the time. Not so much on the Apple Watch. And one thing to mention while we kind of have these side by side, I just love the round shape and the sleek design of the Garmin Vivoactive 5 opposed to the Apple Watch Series 6. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this this hike, see how it goes at the end of the hike, and see which one's more accurate. All right, so as you can see, there are a few more features on the Vivoactive 5 while you're hiking that you can see on your watch that aren't on the Apple Watch. But as you get into the Garmin Connect app, there's even more. There's a lot more metrics, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's get back to that hike. Believe me, save yourself.
Okay, not sure what happened there. It was a tough hike, but I also wanted to show another feature of the Vivoactive 5 when pausing the activity while you're doing the activity, so we'll cut to that now.
All right, one thing I wanted to show you kind of features on the Garmin watch opposed to the Apple Watch. Sometimes on the Apple Watch, if you like stay standing in one position, like say you're taking a water break, it will ask you, have you stopped your activity? Do we need to like end it? And you can pause it, you can dismiss it. The thing I like about the Garmin watch instead is you can actually press a button to stop it and then press a button to start it again. So it's not kind of annoying you with those notifications. Something I like, it's definitely preferences, right? It's you know, your own personal preference, but for me, I like that feature.
All right, now let's talk about sleep tracking next. I've always been a bit obsessed with optimizing my sleep, for my health, but Apple Watch sleep tracking felt, just generally basic. It required you setting a sleep schedule, and it didn't always catch things like, for instance, let's say that you have the very rare chance to take a nap, right? Or it doesn't really give you actionable insights. But the Garmin Vivoactive 5, on the other hand, is like having a sleep coach on your wrist. It tracks everything: sleep stages, heart rate variability, respiration, and even naps automatically. I love the sleep coach feature, which gives you personalized tips based on your sleep score and lifestyle. For instance, like after a rough night of sleep, it suggested I aim for 8.5 hours of sleep that night and avoid late caffeine. It also integrates with Body Battery, which tells you like how much your sleep impacts your energy levels for the day, which is an awesome feature. Compared to the Apple Watch, which definitely lacks, any type of detecting of a rare nap or detailed coaching, Garmin's sleep tracking is way more insightful. So let's cut to the morning report on the watch and continue in the app. All right, so when you wake up, this is what you have on your watch. It says, good morning, you pull up, waking up. All right, so it says body battery 61. My sleep score was 76. Shorter than ideal, but calm. And then it has like a calendar item.
Then you go to the app to see more of the metrics that it talks about for your sleep report.
Okay, so let's talk about the app now. Let's get into the app. So, as you can see, last night was a little bit different than what I showed you on the watch. My sleep score was 82. It said it was good quality. Body battery, 41, so 45 plus, charged. And then today, I kind of drained it about a negative 26. Then you kind of see the steps that I had today. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into sleep score. And it says good quality, your sleep was long and calm, your activity done late in the day yesterday promoted good sleep quality, and your body still had enough time to relax before getting to sleep. Nice work. That was that hike that I did. As you can see, total time of 7 hours. Deep sleep was 1 hour, 4 minutes. Light sleep was 4 hours, 45 minutes. I got 1 hour and 16 minutes of REM. Not ideal. You want a little bit more than that, right? But 20 minutes of wake time. I had 34 restless moments. That's a lot. So I do move around quite a bit when I sleep. Resting heart rate was 61 beats per minute. I did have a plus 56 on battery change, which is just how the energy level that we talked about before. Average oxygen, spec ox was 90%, lowest was 84%. I had an average respiration of 15 beat rates per minute, or breath rates per minute, and lowest was 6 breath rates per minute. So 15, around there, 15, 14 is really where you want to be when you're sleeping. 6 is a little low, so you need to watch that kind of, time to come. But then the sleep coach, you need a normal amount of sleep today. You should feel good on your normal 7 hours and 50 minutes of sleep. Nice work staying balanced. And then you kind of see your sleep score over 7 days. So my average score is 74. I don't think I have, the 4 weeks, which would be the next one. Let's just see. Yeah, so I don't have the 4 weeks, but, at least the 7 days, because I recently got this watch. You can see all the different metrics. There's just a ton of information that it gives you that the Apple Watch just does not. So getting back to some of the other details. All right, now let's get to fitness tracking. This is where Garmin really shines. The Vivoactive 5 has over 30 preloaded sports apps, from running and cycling to yoga, pickleball, and even wheelchair workouts. It's very versatile. Unlike the Apple Watch, which is great for general fitness, Garmin gives me detailed metrics that feel tailored to my goals. For example, during a hike, I get accurate GPS tracking, heart rate data, and even recovery time estimates. The body battery feature helps me decide if I should push hard or if I should kind of take it easy based on my energy levels. And that will help with stress levels as well. right? So I also love the morning report. It's like a daily briefing on my stress and sleep and readiness for the day. The Apple Watch tracks workouts well, but it doesn't really give me the same level of coaching or recovery insights. Yeah, you get the Apple, activity rings and some data in the health app, but it is really in-depth data about your workout and energy levels. So let's go back to the Connect app, and I'm going to show you metrics from that hike that we took. Okay, so going back to that hike that I took, it shows that it's 1.3 miles. Total time was 28 minutes. Average pace per mile was 21 minutes. Total ascent was 241 feet. Total calories burned was 245. Kind of getting into some of the stats, you see like average pace, average moving pace, best pace, average speed, average moving speed, max speed. So you really can know how you did on your hike or your activity, whatever, strength training, running, whatever you do. So you can kind of push yourself for the next hike or the next activity. Total time it gives us, moving time, elapsed time, average heart rate, max heart rate. That was when I was crawling on the hill. Primary benefit for this was recovery. Average cadence, 109. Max cadence, 223. Steps, 2,644. Total ascent, it shows the minimum elevation, max elevation, resting calories, active calories, estimated sweat loss, intensity minutes, moderate was 18, vigorous 8 minutes, total 34. Net impact, -3 on my body battery. So I can know what's impacting my body battery, so I can tell if I need to take a longer hike or shorter hike next time, just depending on my body battery. So just lots of insights that you can do, that will show you what you want to show. And then you can see your pace, you can see your heart rate just in charts. If you want to see the distance, you can do that in charts as well. So just a lot of information that you don't get with the Apple operating system, where the health app, that type of stuff, where you get with the Garmin. So definitely some awesome things. All right, now let's talk about trade-offs, right? Perks and trade-offs. So a few other things I love about the Vivoactive 5. The AMOLED display is gorgeous and easy to read even in sunlight. It's also super lightweight at 36 grams, making it comfy for 24/7 wear, right? You can wear it all the time, including sleep tracking. It's hard to tell it's on your wrist. Now, I had no clue how heavy the Apple Watch was, truly, until I put on the Vivoactive 5. It was like a weight had been lifted off my wrist, and I had no idea that the Apple Watch was so heavy. Another big draw was a sleek circular design opposed to the square that is the Apple Watch. You get music storage, Garmin Pay, notifications. So it's still a solid smartwatch, though it doesn't have like a microphone or a speaker like the Apple Watch does. I will say it's nice to not have to worry if audible notifications will go off in a group setting. Now there are some trade-offs, of course, right? So the Apple Watch has, more third-party apps and a sleeker interface for iPhone users, including like the ECG feature, right? That's not on the Vivoactive 5. There's no microphone on the Vivoactive 5, so you can't tell Siri to set up a timer for you or a reminder. You can't take calls on the Vivoactive 5, so if you're deep in the Apple ecosystem, that may be a big draw, but I'm pretty deep in the Apple ecosystem, and it's not a huge draw for me. So when I first got the Vivoactive 5, there was one thing I was super frustrated with that that was just bugging me, and I could only get rid of one notification at a time. Unlike the Apple Watch, where you can clear all of them at the same time, right? But I did find a good alternative. Like if you delete them on your phone, they instantly disappear from your watch. So not a huge deal breaker, because you can just get rid of them easily that way, but just something to think about. Now, for me, the Vivoactive 5 battery life, the sleep tracking, and the fitness focus far outweigh the perks of the Apple Watch. At the current time right now, it's $179 for the Vivoactive 5 and $299 for the Vivoactive 6. It's also more affordable than the Apple Watch Series 10 then, right? Which currently starting at $399 on Apple's website. So, the reasons why I made the switch from my Apple Watch Series 6 to the Garmin Vivoactive 5 are the insane battery life, right? That was the number one thing. I was so fed up with the battery life with the Apple Watch Series 6. Detailed sleep tracking, which was another big draw for me. That's the whole reason I wanted the battery life, so I could track my sleep without having to charge it twice a day. Robust fitness features and the sleek, lightweight design that made it the perfect fit for my active lifestyle. Now, let me know, are you thinking of making the switch to Garmin or even another smartwatch? Or are you going to stick with the Apple ecosystem like the Apple Watch? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you did find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell for more reviews and tech content. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching, and it's really fun to make these for you, and love talking about tech and getting these reviews out to you. But I will see you in the next one.